All right, so welcome back to my YouTube channel. Once again, my name is Nathan, and I'd like to today discuss with a colleague of mine from UCC, and he happens to be our departmental our best student. All right, his name is Osom Sakite Francis. Now, this gentleman is very brilliant, and he completed UCC with me, the same class, the same department, the same year. Right. He also graduated with the first, like I said, and he was the world best student at our department. So now he's currently in Canada to pursue his master's in the same department of mine, agribusiness and agricultural economics. So I'd like to welcome Osom Sakite Francis to ask him questions about his journey to Canada. Osom,
hello.
Welcome, bro.
My brother.
Is it about like 4 years now?
Yeah, 4 years.
4 years, what's 4 years now? So Osom Sakite, like I mentioned, he's a very brilliant student, yeah? He's currently with us.
Pressure.
So he's currently with us here in Canada.
Yeah.
At the University of Manitoba, to be precise, and he'd like to share his journey with us. So I'm going to ask you in the first place. I'd like you to first of all brief to my audience who you are. Or when we say Osom Francis Sakite, who is Osom Francis Sakite?
Okay, my brother, thank you very much for the question. But before I will talk, I would like to say a very big thank you to the Almighty God for giving me a smooth and a successful journey like this. It wasn't easy, I would say, but with God, all things are possible. Yeah. And then besides, I also like to appreciate my parents, my mother, Her Excellency Mary Boatin.
Okay.
Actually, they made my dream come true, and I would like to appreciate them. Now, back to your question: who is Osom Francis Sakite?
Yeah.
Wow, that is a very big question. I must say, a very holistic.
Yeah.
So a very simple guy. Osom Francis Sakite is a very simple guy, someone who focuses on his dreams, and nothing else interests him more than his dream. That's all. That's all that I can say about Osom Francis Sakite.
Okay. Yeah. So we all completed UCC together.
Yeah.
The same class, the same department.
Yeah.
You are very brilliant student. You took a lot of awards and all that.
Pressure.
So let me ask you.
Okay.
Between the year 2021, where we completed, is it 2021 or 2020?
2021.
2021, yeah. Where we completed UCC to 2024.
Yeah.
All right. What prevented you from, pursuing your masters right away?
Okay.
We'd like to know that gap, like what happened in between. Is it that like you were trying, like you want to motivate people, right? You want people to understand the journey, that it won't always be smooth as we all anticipate, right? So like us to explain to us the gap, what caused the gap and all that. Or was it that you wanted to relax and do something else before you later think of, pursue your masters or upgrading yourself when it comes to your educational background?
Okay, thank you very much. After completing school 2021, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then I did my national service at the Department of Agribusiness and Agricultural Economics, DCC. Yeah, so actually after completing school, I wasn't thinking of this study abroad journey. Yeah. Initially.
Yeah.
But when I became a teaching assistant, then I get the opportunity to help people. Then I was able to discover my definite chief purpose on earth. That is being. I love to teach. I discovered my passion. Teaching happens to be my passion. So in that case, then I was like, okay, that means that study abroad will be part of my journey to become what my dream, or to achieve the dream that I want to become.
Okay.
So in that case, I started applying schools, but unfortunately, I didn't add Canada. Okay. I didn't apply to any school in Canada. I was focusing on this Rotterdam scholarship, the European Union scholarship. I don't know whether you've heard about it. Yeah. Stipendium. Yeah. So I applied and I had the scholarship, but it wasn't full funding. Yeah, me too. Due to our background, so I was aiming to get, a fully funded scholarship before I will make a move. Yeah, so I didn't actually pursue that one. Then I also applied to some schools in the US. That one too, they gave me scholarship, but I didn't get. They gave me admission, but I didn't get scholarship. You see, one thing about this study abroad thing, you shouldn't always focus on, or you shouldn't always have it in mind that you have a higher CGPA, so that will be all. No, it's actually got to do with a lot of things. You also have to get a spiritual backing. I will state that fact. Yeah, and then also you also have to be able to articulate your dreams with what your writings, in a sense that, for instance, coming to University of Manitoba, you will have to what, present your biographical sketch, right?
Okay, I think we even come to that aspect. Okay. So I was very much interested about the gap.
Okay.
Like you stated, I like that statement you made, that don't let your CGPA convince you that automatically you're going to get a full funding scholarship.
Yeah.
Like, because how come overall best students will get admission in the US without full funding?
Yeah.
You get it? So that should tell you something, yeah? So I think what is some of the advice you give to those watching us, especially the undergraduate students thinking of pursuing their journey abroad, or like pursuing their masters or whatever abroad? What's the advice that you give them? Like, should they follow, though the CGPA is very important, what are some of the things that you think they should also have in mind once they think of pursuing their masters abroad?
Okay. So one thing I would like to talk about is your experience.
Okay.
Okay. You have to talk a lot about your experience in terms of work, and then also based on in terms of some achievements in school. And then also you should be able to, correlate your statement of purpose with what the kind of program that you are going to pursue. You understand? Yeah. And then also you should be focused. You see, as I said earlier, I wasn't that focused in pursuing masters masters after school, right? That is why that actually delayed me. Okay. So you should not, it's not only about your CGPA. You should have a lot of experience. You should make a lot of research about what you are going to read, or the kind of school that you want to go. And there are some schools too, based on their requirements. You have to check their requirements, okay? And then if you meet the requirement, then of course you can go ahead and then pursue or apply. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's come to that of the University of Manitoba. Okay. Or now, what made you channel your idea, your mindset from the US to Canada? Okay. What was the motivation behind?
All right. So you see, even though I was interested in this study abroad journey, but I wasn't interested in writing any of this GRE or IELTS or whatever they call it. Yeah, because that would have been another wasting of time to me, because I've already spent about 2 years in the house already. Yeah, so I decided on Canada, especially University of Manitoba, because I realized they were not taking any GRE or IELTS and all those stuff. Yeah, then for them, once you meet their criteria, of course, you are good to go. So as I said, you have to do a lot of background check about the school. And then also you have to make sure that your objective correlates with the program that you are going to pursue. And then your dreams, or whatever you want to, your career goal or your career path, should also correlate with the program that you are choosing. Then that will be all.
Okay. Yeah. So what program are you currently reading at the university?
Masters in Agribusiness and Agricultural Economics. Of course, your program.
All right, good. All right, so in the course of application, right? Okay. There are some specific requirements. What can you please brief us on the requirements, in case maybe one is also interested? Maybe one is reading economics. Okay. Because for what I personally know, both econ students and agribusiness students can apply for this program. Yeah. So what are some of the specific requirements that you saw in the midst of researching about the department and the process of applying for admission? Okay. What are some of the requirements that you saw, so that people can also be aware of it or can be informed when they want to make a decision in applying to that same program? Okay, so the first thing I would like to talk about is, of course, I didn't say CGPA is not important. Yes, of course. It is. Okay, they have a cutoff point. But the good thing is that it's not only meant for first class students. Yeah. Yeah. So even with a CGPA of 2.7 and above, you can apply to University of Manitoba. Then the second thing I would like to talk about is, as I said, your academic goals, or your how do you call it? Your career goals should also correlate with the program that you want to read here. Yeah. Okay. And then also you should look out for the kind of courses that they will want you to might have read before in your school. Yeah. For instance, agribusiness. There are some selective courses that if you don't offer them during your first degree, you wouldn't be qualified for the masters in the University of Manitoba. Yeah. Yeah, so you look out for the courses that they might be interested in pertaining a particular master's program. Yeah. And then your CGPA, and then also your experience, background, work experience, any other experience, extracurricular. Okay. Yeah. So you said something that I'm very interested in. Okay. About, it's not only about the CDP, and also some specific courses you're supposed to read during your undergraduate.
Yeah.
All right. So when it comes to our department, that is Masters in Agribusiness and Agricultural Economy. When it comes to our department, they have a pre-masters program.
Okay.
For those who lack some specific, like the committee, the admission committee, sometimes do check the potential of some students, right?
Okay.
Maybe they realize, okay, this person did not read this particular course or did not do very well in this particular course, maybe in mathematics.
Okay.
Right? But when it comes to the econs courses, the person did so very well. So the department, even in as much as you're not meeting the entire requirements of the department for you to be admitted to the main Masters in Agribusiness and Agricultural Economics, they have a pre-masters program that you come and read for 1 year. Right? So do your biographical sketch. If you feel like you do not meet entirely the requirements for the program, instead of just writing you want to be admitted into the Masters in Agribusiness and Agricultural Economics, you can either channel it to pre-masters. So you can be like, okay, fine. You like this, you like this, you like that, and as a result of that, you want to apply for the pre-masters. So with the pre-masters, it is a course that's like you will be admitted, you come to Canada, and you take some undergraduate courses. That is the course you not do so well, or you didn't take it at all, or you don't read at all, do your undergraduate in Ghana or in the home country. So they allow you to read those courses for 1 year.
Okay.
Before the following year, you be admitted to the main Masters in Agribusiness and Agricultural Economics.
It's getting interesting.
Exactly. So it's like our departments have made a thing so flexible.
Yeah.
So it's left with you to explain very well during your biographical sketch about the type of masters you want to apply to. So maybe you feel like, okay, you had CDP of 3.0 or 3.2, and maybe that very year the number of first class students who applied are a lot, or I mean, they're different to go to admit them and see if there's enough space to admit other people. You experience the first lecture, the number, the classroom size, and the number of students currently in the classroom. And I think the class can contain about 18 to 20 chairs or students. So there's no way the department, and we have our lectures in that same classroom. So there's no way the department can admit more than the specific space in the classroom. So it is very competitive.
Exactly.
Do you understand? It sometimes becomes competitive when a number of people apply for that same program. So it is advisable for you to think of maybe the pre-masters. With the pre-masters, you're going to have a class, you're going to meet the undergrads, and the undergrads classroom is very big, right?
Yeah, but so I have a question. With the pre-masters, are they going to still provide scholarship for the pre-masters?
No, they don't.
So you see, that is going to cost you what? Extra what? Money or whatever.
Yes.
So in case, you see, you are from Ghana, right? You know, most people, the background is not that what. You know, you are my brother. You know what I'm talking about. So financially, you are not stable now. You are now going to, instead of you looking out for a course that correlates with your CGPA and your background, so that at least you can just move straight forward and then pursue a program. What if you don't have the money to afford for that pre-masters? You see, it will be an obstacle. So why don't you focus, make a lot of research, look out for the program that best suits your previous experience or probably your CGPA. Then you choose a program, and then, but of course, it is another. It's also another option for those
the main masters requirement. So like I know a lady who did the pre-masters, and is currently in the same classroom with us.
Wow.
You understand? Like so, and he had funding for the first year. Because he's now considered as a master student for the department. So he had funding for when he graduated from the pre-masters to the main masters program. So like they've made things flexible for those who meet and those who do not meet the requirements. So coming to the biographical sketch, unlike what other department requests for something like a statement of purpose and all that other stuff, our department specifically requests for biographical sketch. You get it? So how do you go about your biographical sketch? Before that, I may mention that if you don't meet the main master's program in your biographical sketch, explain, let them understand that you're not competing with those who are applying for the masters. You want to rather apply for the pre-masters. Do you get it? So that at least you know there's a high chance of you getting the admission. Especially when you know your CDP is both all that is very good. Do you get it? Alright, so now let's go to how you went about applying or drafting your biographical sketch, because this biographical sketch is a little bit different from the SOP. And it does confuse a lot of people. When they get to that point and they're like, hey, so how do I go about the biographical sketch? What are some of the things I need and all that? You did it and you were admitted. So how did you go about it? So that people watching us can also have an idea about how to go about the biographical sketch.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. About the biographical sketch, as the name suggests, your biography, right? So you just have to tell us, you know, your background. your level of education, and then your work experiences, your dreams, and then what do you expect even in pursuing, let's say, masters in agribusiness and agriculture economics? What do you expect to meet? Okay, so you have to think outside the box. After all, describing yourself, it shouldn't be only about yourself, even though it is biographical sketch, but it should be a bit optimistic.
Yeah,
you understand?
Yeah.
You have to let them know that you are not coming to read the course because how do you call it, you just want to travel.
Yeah,
you are reading the course because you have a purpose you want to achieve, and the course correlates with what your dream.
okay.
And then after reading the course, to the impact that you are going to make. For instance, if you want to become a lecturer and you pursue this course, are you not going to make impact?
Yeah.
You see, so think about you offering the course because you want to make a lot of impact. Let them know that, you know, white, the way they behave, they always want to see how you think. You should be able to think outside the box.
Yeah.
So that thing called biographical sketch is not only about describing yourself. No. Okay, it should be a bit optimistic, and then it should be a bit objective, and it should be what? Well focused, what? Something that you draft about yourself.
Good.
Yeah.
So I know some people who drafted their biographical sketch in the form of a CV.
Okay.
Just a form of a CV, talking about themselves and all that, and also their research of interest and one or two things, and the person got admission.
Yeah.
And I personally, I did it like you're talking about.
Yeah.
I started with my academic background as my first paragraph.
Yeah.
My work experience, second paragraph. Why the department?
Okay. Yes.
Very important. So I did a little bit of research about the department.
I was about to.
Yes.
On that.
Their research of interest, and a lot of the professors to their research of interest.
Exactly.
So that I can know, okay, so there is this common research of interest, which is international trade.
Exactly.
So why don't I also channel my research of interest to theirs?
Exactly.
So after knowing the department's research of interest, I also spoke about my research of interest and how it correlates.
Yeah.
And I even did mention some professor's name.
Exactly.
That this professor is into this research, and that's what I'm also currently doing. I started undergrad, I want to complete it here and all that. And also my final objective and conclusion, career goals and conclusion. That's how, and it shouldn't be too much.
Exactly.
At least 1 or 2 pages is okay. Don't say I see 2 pages.
Yeah.
Because they want something brief about you, and that's all. All right. So now let's talk about your visa application processes. Okay. Because after securing your visa, your admission, you went ahead to apply for your visa. So with Canada, we all know there's the way of applying for visa is totally different from how you apply for visa to the US.
Yeah.
So brief us about how you went about applying your visa, what's entailed in it, and how did you go about it, and the duration in between when you apply for the visa and when you got your passport request, and how was the feeling like after getting your passport request and your journey to Canada?
All right, thank you very much. About this visa thing, as soon as you mention then I begin to have a mixed feeling, whether to be happy or to be sad. I don't know. It wasn't easy. You see, about this visa thing, actually, I was doing it with a friend. We were all naive about it. In fact, we were ignorant. We didn't know anything about it. But after making some few research, we thought of maybe going to an agent to do it for us. But we also thought to ourselves, we are intellectuals. Why shouldn't we try it and see? Because we can do anything. So we decided not to, we asked of the money. You see, what actually discouraged us was about the price, the money that they were mentioning. It was so outrageous, some were saying they would take 30,000 and a whole lot just because of a visa application. So we researched about it and then we did the application ourselves. But later, after submitting, we realized we did a lot of mistakes. Okay, but it wasn't that huge that they will base on that to maybe disqualify us or something like that. Yeah. So one thing about this visa application, before your visa will be validated for review, your application will be validated for review, your medicals have to be first approved. I don't know whether you are aware of that.
Yeah.
So after submitting the visa, we went for this upfront medicals, and ideally it shouldn't take more than 3 weeks for it to be approved. My brother, my own took 2 months, and still I wasn't hearing anything from them. I was like, what is happening? In fact, it was a whole lot of confusion and then a whole lot of discouragement. I wasn't having any hope. So I called my brother, one of my brothers, Alex, and then I asked him, hey, my brother, what is happening? Me, I don't understand, no, because ideally this thing is not supposed to take more than 3 weeks. Why is my own keeping long? And then another thing was that he said if there is any mistake about it or there is any problem or you are having some strange disease or something like that, 1 week after the application, they will call you and then maybe advise you and then maybe find some way and means to help you about it. Okay. I didn't receive any email. I didn't receive any calls. I was like, is it that they have overlooked my own or what? In fact, it was something else. So I realized that I need what? An extra what? This thing. So I actually prayed hard. Yeah. So prayer is the key. I won't lie. Let me hammer on this. Throughout this process, you need to be what? A bit spiritual. There should be spiritual backing. So I was fortunate. Well, I think after the 2 months, then it came. Okay, that my medicals have been approved. That day, it was something for me. It calls for celebration. So after the medicals was approved, I thought, oh, maybe since my medicals delayed, my visa wouldn't also what delay. My brother, 3 months, nothing was happening. Not even a mail. What is it? So in fact, I went through a lot. You know how it feels. Waiting for something and then you are not even receiving any mail to maybe be encouraged for maybe a better hope or future hope or something like that. So it wasn't easy. Yeah, but at the end of it all, it came positive. Yeah, my visa was approved, and then even people who were experienced and then they applied their own were rejected. So I wouldn't say it's because I am well knowledgeable about it. It's just by the grace of God. Yeah, that's what I'll say about this visa thing.
So in total, it took you like roughly 3 months.
3 months
after the visa submission.
Yeah.
For you to get your study permit, your visa approved. Oh wow! Then thank God, because some people do take some others. I think the Alex interview I had, it took about 8 months.
Wow.
Oh, 8 months.
Like seriously?
So like it depends, like you said. Sometimes by grace.
Exactly.
So I would advise our fellow viewers that they shouldn't be discouraged when your visa take more than a week, more than a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. You feel like, oh, what's happened, all that. It's not like you are the first person for visa to be delayed. It does happen to others too. So these things normally happen, and when it happens, that just be motivated and like you said, if you have the Christian background, just be prayerful and be hope for the best. And if the result turns out negative, don't be discouraged.
Don't give up.
Because Canada is not like US where you have to book for another date and all that. The same day you will refuse, that same day you can reapply and work on 1 or 2 mistakes you did and reapply the same day. So that's one thing I like about Canada. And with Canada too, they list to you the reasons for the refusal. Unlike the US, that if you're not fortunate enough, the visa officer will not even list to you or let you know the reason for the refusal. For Canada, you can apply for GCMS notes, which will let you know the actual reasons why they refuse you. Then you correct those mistakes and reapply. So people do sometimes based on the generic refusal letter to know what the reasons why they were refused and work on it and reapply. So my brothers and sisters, don't be discouraged when you are refused visa. All right. So having said this, now let's talk about after your visa was approved. How was the feeling like?
That I'm smiling.
Was it? was the visa approved in the morning, in the afternoon? Mine was approved once I was in the car.
I'm afraid.
I was like, so I was in the truck, on Temamoto way. Like I got a message, do not reply. That's after
that do not reply.
And like, oh my God, I was like, I was just shaking. And that instant, I don't know whether it happened to only me. The network was kind of messing up. I opened on the link, loading. It took like about 5 minutes. The link wasn't loading. Like, oh my God, what's happening? I was just shaking. I'm eager to know what's the result like. And Charlie, finally, like, OP and passport request. I shouted in the
that passport request.
I was like, what's wrong? Like, oh, China, you understand later. So, in fact, how was it feeling like after I got that passport request? Because it always comes and, it makes people very happy. Everybody and his or her own mood during that period. So, how was your mood like?
I must say there's a coincidence here because I also have similar experience, just as you said. It's actually a mixed feeling, whether you should cry or you should be happy or you should smile, But you see, it's so exciteful when your visa is being approved, and then Exactly. When it came to me too, I didn't know. It came, I think it was in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, I was asleep. So when I woke up, I took my phone. I was good. That do not reply message.
There's a quick update on your application.
In fact, I won't lie to you. That thing here is more than broken heart. When you are opening it here, the way you'll be shaking. Because you will be so expecting and you will be anticipating, hey, what is it? What am I going to see? Is it a good news? And you know, yeah, but you know, it's actually a nice feeling when your visa is being approved. And of course, as you said, if they refuse you, that is not the end of life. Keep trying until what? You are being approved. Okay, don't give up on a first trial. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's another.
Okay. All right. So now let's talk about the port of entry experience. Like you're journey from Ghana to Canada.
Okay.
The first place, what flight did you use?
How do you call it? I think it was KLM.
KLM.
Yeah.
All right. So you passed through Amsterdam.
Yeah, Amsterdam to Toronto then.
All right. So you used Toronto port of entry, right?
Yeah.
All right. So people are talking about how they sometimes have good experience at the port of entry, and some people do share their bad experience to the extent that some people are being deported back to Ghana because of how they failed to express themselves when we are asked some questions and all that.
Yeah.
So how was your port of entry experience like? Can you share with us?
Yeah. So that rumor about port of entry actually create fear in people. Me for instance, I was actually afraid when I was approaching Toronto. I was like, hey, what am I going to be asked? And then how am I going to even approach for the questions, you know? But that thing, it depends, okay? Some people, in their cases, they will ask them a lot of questions. Some I learned they even have to show proof of their funds by providing documents such as what and all that. But fortunately for me, when I got there, he just requested for my passport. He then asked me of the program that I'm going to read, and then I told him. And then something happened. Okay. I think after him asking you the question, you have to go to somewhere to take the study. But in my case, he went for the study permit, gave me, then I just went straight to. Oh, so I told you everything about me was grace. That was my experience.
You had a very smooth.
Oh yeah, very
experience.
smooth. Yeah.
I think I also did have the same smooth experience. They asked me. I joined a queue at Toronto port of entry.
Okay.
And my study permit was already printed out, so they just gave a study permit, and I had to just join a queue.
Wow.
I went to a lady. She asked my name, my port of entry, a letter. She just stamped on a paper for me to use for the next port.
Wow.
And I was just so
we are
fortunate. Yeah, fortunate. Some people too do have bad experience. Some of them being deported, and people too are being stressed out by asking sort of questions to the extent of leading them to their supervisor to further ask them questions. Because it depends on. I always advise people how you approach them. Don't panic. If you are come to Canada to study, or if you are come to Canada to pay a visit, why should you panic when they get to a port of entry? Because when they ask you question and you just start panicking and you're just shaking and all that,
they will suspect something.
But then what's this guy hiding?
Yeah.
And also imagine you go to a port of entry, they ask you. So like in your case, what program are you come to read? And you don't even know the program.
Some people don't even
As because maybe an agent did the application for him or her.
Yeah.
To the extent that the person has no idea about his application.
That is it.
And they ask you, so what's your name? Okay, my name is Kofi. What program you come to read?
Then
you have no idea. Meaning that you cannot come and for
exactly.
And that's where they are going to deport you. So you should have an idea about why you come to Canada, the program you come to read, the school, when your program is starting, the course, and all that.
Yeah.
If you've registered your courses, you should have evidence of your course being registered. If you've been chatting with your supervisor was in Ghana, you should have evidence in case you are coming in late. Maybe your intake starts in 1st September and you're reporting on 15th September. At least you should have a conversation with your advisor that due to flight delay or due to when your visa was approved, you'll be reporting late.
Yeah.
Then the supervisor will reply, okay, we are expecting you. Print out that reply for your supervisor and your message to him and the reply. When you get to a point of so why are you coming late? I think a friend of mine had that experience, right? He came to Canada in October. In our department that I was talking about, instead of coming in September, he came in October because his visa delayed. So he emailed our supervisor that when his visa was approved just this very moment, he has submitted his visa, his passport, but it hasn't returned yet. It's almost a month, but he still wants to come for the fall intake. So the reply was like, no problem. So we are expecting you. So he made the supervisor draft a letter on the department letterhead and everything, sign and everything. So he printed that email reply in that letter. So when he got to, he used Belgium. The flight he used will transit through Belgium. So when he got to Belgium, the Belgian people didn't want him to board the flight because they asked him why is he come to Canada, and they said he's come to study. Which intake? He says September, and they said but it's in October. So why are you coming now? So the guy was like, okay, so my department is away. Could you believe the flight attendants or whatever they call them called IRCC?
I'm afraid.
Yes, they called IRCC and the later, I think IRCC didn't pick at that moment, so they called, his port of entry was Montreal. So they called Montreal port of entry that they have a student here who wants to board their flight to Montreal port of entry, and the person is not reporting, and they don't think the person is coming to study because even at the time the person is reporting on campus. So the visa officer told the flight attendants to give the phone to the student, and he took the phone, he used the call, and was like, they asked him, so why you not report? And he was like, his visa was approved on this date.
Wow.
And they submitted his visa on this date. And fortunate for him, he booked the flight just 2 days after his visa was approved. So he had an evidence.
Yeah, evidence.
So the visa officer said, okay, wait, I'm coming. So he took his UCI number, he immediately checked to know whether it is true, to check when his visa was approved and when his visa was returned. His passport was returned after submission. So they realized he's speaking the truth at that moment, and they again asked him, so is your department aware? Or is your class?
Wow, so that wasn't enough.
Yes, aware you are reporting around that moment. You get it?
Yeah.
And he was like, yes, I have evidence. So he showed the evidence to the flight attendants over there, and he also to them was like, yeah, he has showed me, I think it is true. So when he got to the port of entry, they already know about him, the information and everything. So he just went there, Saeed Mohammed, this is and that, and he didn't ask him or stress him up with any question. They gave him a steady permit.
Wow.
So I keep advising that, please, before you report late, make sure you have evidence from your department or your advisor that yes, you are coming in late, and as a result of that, you have official letter from them proving that they are still expecting, even though you are reporting late, so that in case of you facing challenges like what my friend went through at the port of entry, at least you wouldn't find yourself once you have evidence to back whatever you're saying. Yeah. So having said that, I think this is an advice to every international student. And also, please, when your visa, maybe you are supposed to report in September, but your visa was approved in maybe November, and for that matter, you can't report for that fall. You can defer your program. That doesn't cancel your visa. Your visa is still active because you were given maybe 1 year visa or maybe 2 years visa. So your visa will be still active. It's a matter of you just deferring your program and come for the next intake. You just have to enter Canada before your visa expires, right? So
because your visa being approved is about is it visa or getting admission is about getting 50% of the process. You are about 50% down of the process. So in case they give you admission, you get scholarship, and then your visa is being approved, as he's saying, of course, don't give up. Just email the school and then defer the program, or preferably keep in touch with the lecturers, and then once they accept that, you can wait and then come the following year or any other subsequent year that you prefer, you can go. So
in a situation whereby you are coming to read 1 year program, right? And you had to defer from maybe January intake to May intake. It is less than the gap there is less than a year. So you can still enter Canada whilst your visa is still active. Now you entered Canada, you started reading your program in May. Definitely your visa will expire before you complete your program. You can apply for visa extension. And they are going to approve that, and they will know why. Because you didn't report early,
you have a valid
and the fault wasn't from you. They delayed your application and all that. So please don't. When you know you are going to apply for extension, visa extension, or you are thinking of applying for postgraduate permit after completion of your program, do not violate our rule. Because when you school before, like I've already made a video about that, so people can check that. I don't want to go detailed about that. So do not violate any rule of your study permit when you know you are rather going to need their extension. Because when they violate their rule, they can prevent your visa extension by stating that you violated blah 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 rule. So unfortunately, we can't extend a visa for you. All right, so let's come back to now that you're in Canada.
Wow.
So how is the feeling like? Like, is it the Canada the same country you've been watching on YouTube, TikTok, and all that, and the University of Manitoba? Like, how do you see Canada so far?
All right, so I've been wanting this opportunity for long. I think this is the right time for me to appreciate this, my brother here. Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you very much, my brother. Yeah, we're coming alone, of course, people. It's not easy. Yeah, he's a very nice person. God bless you, my brother. God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless you.
We should be there for each other.
Sure. Yeah, so lovely people. Canada is it's a welcoming country, okay?
Yeah.
Now the only problem is the IRCC kind of giving some kind of a restriction to students and then making it unattractive to most people. Yeah, but of course, Canada is just a country like your home country. Okay, just that the rules and then
things are advanced.
Things are advanced here. Okay, and then the weather. Oh my God! It can, sometimes 7 p.m. and then you can still see the sun shining. Wow!
Yeah,
it's not easy. Yeah, so the weather is kind of cold and then so actually I came late. Okay. Yeah. So I haven't had enough experience yet, but the little that I've experienced, is it's kind of survivable. Yeah, when you come, you can survive.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I remember one funny thing when you went to Superstore.
No, don't say that here. Don't say of course, there's always a first time experience, my people.
I'm not going to go details, but you know, sometimes it's funny, right? You may not know one or two things because the same thing that your whole country is not done here.
Exactly.
So you may default and it may sound sometimes funny, right?
Yeah.
So also, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for conducting this interview with me. I think it's going to motivate a lot of people back home to also think about, you know, those who are thinking about pursuing their education in University of Manitoba or in our program. At least they have a gist about how to go about the whole thing. If you got admission, how to apply for this, at least you've given a gist of it, the process and all that. So in fact, I think this video is going to motivate a lot.
Exactly.
And thank you so much. May God bless all of us.
Man, and I was.
So what's our final word so far? Then we just end everything so far.
All right. So thank you very much, my brother. I always believe one principle. That is, if someone have been able to do it, then I can also do it. Okay. I will want you to encourage yourself with this word. Of course, sometimes people differ. Okay. The fact that someone took 1 year to come to Canada doesn't mean that you can take 3 years. By the end of it all, we are all in Canada, right? Exactly. You came before me, but at the end of it all, we are all here. Yeah. So don't give up. This study abroad journey is not easy, but all that I can say is that don't give up. Okay. Keep trying, and one day it will be a whole testimony. Yeah. And then also there should be a spiritual backing. That one, I'll keep hammering on it. Believe in God, and with God all things are possible. Thank you very much, my brother.
Okay.
For the opportunity.
Bye. Bye. Cut.